Hey everyone, it's Quentin from QPTech, and this is a little, I guess, review of how my survival world is going. It's like, I don't know how many hours played, quite a few. Well over 60, I think, at this point. And I've basically gotten to the point in QPTech tree, which didn't exist when I started playing this world. I can make steel out of iron without using my, like, I could rip this whole thing out at this point. And I've done lots of tweaks. The last few versions of QPTech have just been about making things streamlined, adjusting some recipes. So basically, this whole setup, like the steel portion, you can get with 3 vanilla steel cooks, which it's quite a bit of time if you're doing one in a row like I did, but of course some smarter people than me probably got enough material for multiple cementation furnaces at once. So what do we got here? We have our MV heater module, our crusher module, and our industrial high pressure blower. And they're all centered around the advanced bloomery machine, which has multiple recipes in it. I do need to come up with a way to show how all the recipes, like it shows it here, but it doesn't really give you a good idea of what it can do. So this can make iron, it can make steel, and it can make blister steel. So technically, with if I started making some item pipes, you could just have automatic dump in iron and coal or charcoal rather, and get steel out the other side. I put this here. The main issue I have now is I lack power. I've got these generators. There's 3 of them, which you can now make with a lot more iron parts than all bronze. They're all being fed by peat. There's that little, you can't quite get in there, a bronze fire pit stoker, which is going to these guys, which is supplying the heat required for these, and then they're all fed from a water tower. And probably I'll be starting to make steel pipes now. And this mess here are my various devices I've built. I don't have like full production lines yet. I don't have the power for it, and don't really have the materials for it. So I have all this crap jammed in here to use minimal wire plates. I just remembered I didn't have enough cable, but I just remembered that the macerator, if you put pine in there, it will make resin. And the other thing you need is sulfur, of course. But so I got my kiln for making firing my clay items, especially crucibles for rubber, because I don't have the mixer yet. The macerator basically stays on all the time. The wash plant actually doesn't get used so much because I have enough materials. I don't have to keep panning for it. So I might actually have to think of some more stuff for the wash plant, whereas the macerator has so many things you could do with it, it's kind of crazy. I've got my log splitter here, which is great for, this was my charcoal pit. So I would fill that up with logs, and it did pretty good. I do have the brand new pyrolysis kiln, which I could stick on the end here. It does need, I'd have to move this crusher over. I should actually give it a whirl, and this will make charcoal. So no more charcoal pits, no more cementation furnace. My power just barely creeps along. Oh yeah, this is the crucible, which is used to make ingots. Out of either like pure ingots or alloys, depending what mode. And this is kind of the core of my setup right now, is this battery. Well, you can see it's not quite full. I do try and keep it topped up. I do not have anywhere near enough power to run this setup at all. Like, So with the battery, it provides enough of a buffer. In theory, it should only just be able to maybe make 1 ingot of blister steel before it runs out of power, but I have noticed some issues where everything's trying to get power all at once, and so as this thing ticks over, every couple of ticks you're going to get enough power to let it process. Like these all use, this uses 32 flux, this uses 16, that uses 16, that uses 32, so I don't know what that's up to. Oh, it's 64 I'm using, and each of these only kicks out 8. So technically I should have 8 of these to be able to run this setup at all. And so I just keep this turned off because this is kind of like the switch for all these. As soon as I turn that on, they'll all turn on. Actually, that's why I have this extra. This is my old heater, but I keep it around so that actually I could move it over to my pyrolysis thing, but I keep this on just to heat ingots in this bronze item hatch. So anyways, that's where my build is at. I got my sheet roller. That was my first steel priority because you use sheets to make most of the steel parts, and this will basically get you, at the end of the day, 1 sheet per ingot, whereas usually it would be half that. This is always on pretty much. This makes plates, which are kind of like the start for everything. I got a pipe bender hooked into it. I got a screw press there, but I haven't been using that much. I need to verify if it can make steel screws. That's one thing I'm still hammering out, steel screws. Pipe bender. Now I do have to watch feeding right from here through to there, because I have forgotten before and turned a bunch of copper into pipes that I didn't need to. So that's just one thing to be aware of when you're linking. I do have I could run this all the way, get that out, add a rod press here instead, and then the screw press at the end. I could have bronze screws flowing right through and spinning at the end. But right now, I'm just, like, I got this pile of steel, so I'm just where I can start going to town with building a lot of things. I've got to go mining for copper. But anyways, that's where it's at. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the tech progression overall, and it's definitely been helpful to play through because I've made a lot of changes. If you go download the latest QPTech, which shows that it's a preview build, but that's only because it's for the preview version of 1.17. But you'll notice it's a lot easier to get this far now. I had a lot of use of iron and everything instead of just bronze, which is pretty hard to come by even at a high tech level right now. Anyways, thanks for watching.